Hey y'all,
What's up, everybody?
what's going on? What is going on? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
It's Monday.
Yes, all day, every day.
hmm
So it's good to see y'all. Here we go. So just like we always gotta have some issues. Some
Production.
issues.
Where
Production.
is production?
Do a little coffee date.
Happy Coffee Date Monday. Happy Coffee Date Monday. So, what's going on, people?
What's happening? What's up,
Hey
her?
Rio. Hi, Miss Rachel. Hi, Tai Tai.
Hey, y'all.
Good to see you guys.
I really believe we need to have more men on this coffee date conversation.
Are you feeling left out?
Yes. It should be coffee date Monday with Kaya.
He's feeling ganged up.
Yeah. But you know, most guys don't say nothing in here. I don't know why.
Hi, Miss
They just don't say
Jennifer.
anything.
How you doing, Miss Jones? Hi, Tamara. Good morning. Hola, hola, Rio. Hola, hola. Hola, hola.
Why do you say it like that? You say hola.
Hola.
Why you gotta go hola?
Hola.
Like you're
Hola.
like you're Filipino.
Don't be jealous. You want an accent? Look at Lionel. Lionel tagged in so you can know
Thanks,
he's there.
Lionel.
He's like, dude, you are not by yourself.
Thanks,
I am
Lionel.
here with you. Pastor Lionel is in the building
I appreciate
on
that.
Coffee Date Monday.
Coffee date.
Pastor doesn't feel alone. Mm-hmm. Miss Rachel, she said, that's okay. We all, don't worry. We go back and tell our husbands everything you said, Pastor John.
Oh.
So she feels Brother Charles in.
Well, good, yeah.
She's like, you know what? Today on Coffee Date, this is what we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a just a little advice for you guys today um, about keeping it fresh.
Keeping it fresh, keeping it new. Like
Keeping
bread. Nobody wants something stale and old.
Yeah, because you know, but then again, even with bread, when it gets stale and old, you still can do stuff with it. You can make croutons,
You can make stuffing.
stuffing.
You can make bread stuffing. You guys, I actually like bread stuffing. I know it's a thing that a lot of African Americans don't like bread stuffing. African Americans, we make dressing with actual cornbread. But I don't like dressing, you guys. I don't like cornbread dressing. I only like bread stuffing
There's a difference between stuffing and dressing.
So I just want to put that out there. And I'm letting you guys know that, I'm letting all the African Americans here know that I don't like dressing. Come at me, bro. Like, come at me. If you're trying to pull my card, if you're trying to like put me on some sort of African American detention, I'm just letting you guys know. I'm putting it out there for all the world to know. I don't like cornbread dressing. I only like stuffing.
Do you like stew? Do you like the color purple?
I do like stew. I like the color purple.
Okay.
And I like all the other things. I like cornbread by itself, but not cornbread dressing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tai Tai's with me. She likes bread stuffing too. Zena, what's up, Zena? Is Zena's feeling some sort of way about me not liking the cornbread dressing? She's like, Pastor Kaya, I used to rock with you. I used to like you, but now that I found out you don't like cornbread dressing, I'm not sure where our relationship is going.
Angel said, I don't like both. Or, oh, no, she says, I like both.
I like both, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'm just putting it out there.
Angel's your foodie partner. I'm just going to let you know. She
Angel
always
likes a lot of food?
Angel, she always posts nice and like
she does.
Good-looking food.
Yeah.
But I can't. Mm-mm.
Well, what's really great about the Polks is that like they're foodies, but they'll make their stuff. They'll make lots of different things.
Because her husband's comic.
Yeah, he knows how to
He likes to cook.
Does that mean he knows how to cook? Thank you, Reese. She says our colors are matching. I did not even realize that, you guys. Actually, his shirt is blue and mine is gray.
And this is bluish gray.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess we are matching. We didn't even notice. Thank you for pointing that out.
We heard that in the spirit.
Yeah. So Zena says she still loves me. So hopefully she doesn't find out something else that I don't like in the African American food genre that come between our relationship.
Zena, you like pink guys.
She like what?
Pink guys.
What does that mean?
Light skin. You know, her husband's my complexion. Everybody didn't get it. Everybody didn't get it.
I want to
Zena got it.
I want to apologize to all of you guys
Alec understands.
for that comment. That he
Alec
just-
knows.
I apologize for that. Zena, I love you. Okay, call me if you want me to pray with you later. I totally apologize. Hope you're not offended over that crazy random comment he just made.
But we talking about keeping it fresh, y'all. We keeping it fresh.
So I remember when we first got married. No, actually before we got married. One of the things that my husband said to me was, "We're going to keep it new." He's like, "I decided we're going to keep it new, like no matter what." And so we would tell people that all the time. We're like, "Yeah, we've decided once we get married, we're keeping it new. Like it's always going to be new." And so all the couples who were already married kind of gave us that look like, okay, yeah, let us know how that goes. Because it's like, it's like one of those things where people are like, that don't have kids, and they're like, when I have kids, my kids are gonna la 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 la, or I'm not letting this happen with my kids,
Right.
And then people that actually do have kids look at them like, okay, let's see how that goes. So anyway, that's what happened. When we told everybody before we were married, we said after we're married, we decided we're gonna have a great marriage because we're gonna keep it new. We're always gonna keep it new. It's always gonna be fresh. It's always gonna be new. And nobody really believed us. They were just kind of waiting for the trials and the tribulations to hit, and they'd be looking at us like, how new is it? How new does that feel today? But the thing is that we had a plan on keeping it new. We had a plan on keeping our marriage fresh. And one of the things that I feel like people were responding to is the fact that we were saying we're keeping our marriage new, but what they didn't realize is the thought was we're keeping our friendship new. Like every friendship, the value or the integrity of every friendship kind of relates to what kind of things they've been through together. Like if you really think about like a best friend you have or a really great friend that you have, there's reasons on why you really love and honor and cherish that friend. And a lot of times it ties back to things that you guys have been through together. Like a friendship that can go through some stuff is a friendship that's more valuable than, more of like these fair weather friends, because, we all have people that kind of come in our life for a season and then they leave. But friends that really kind of stick it out over time and seasons, those are the ones that mean the most to us. And so we decided that we were going to keep our friendship new because one of the things that we noticed or we knew is that our life is going to go through all kinds of seasons. Okay, so the first season was when we got married, we were just trying to figure out how to bring our lives together. Like, you guys, I was the only child. Like a big thing, my mom was like tripping, y'all. Like, I don't even feel like we even talk about this enough. You guys, my mom was tripping when we first got married. Like, she wasn't ready for the fact that now I was married to this man, and he has family members that we go visit, and there's things that we are going to just do just us. Like, she didn't understand that because me and moms, we were super tight, you guys. We were just super tight. Only child. I was her best friend. I was her little broke BFF. So we were together all the time, and now here comes this guy. Yeah, and I wanted to hang out with him, and I was trying to get to know his family, his side of the family, all that kind of stuff. And then also us just trying to bond with each other. And so that we ran into some riffs and some gifs and some tiffs with that. So that first season was all about that. And so our friendship was being challenged in that area. And then we were trying to have kids. We didn't have kids right away. Like it kind of was like a thing. Like I was kind of like worried a little bit because I was like, why isn't this happening? I was really wanting to have kids right away. That took a while. And so, but I found that every single area or season that we had, it strengthened our friendship with each other. Because even though our situations may change, our friendship should have enough flexibility or whatever to be able to change and be strengthened with it. You know what I mean? And so with Pastor John's decision to always keep our relationship new, he found a way to just strengthen our friendship in every season. And I really appreciate that because I feel like you held true to your promise. Like, this is what our marriage is going to be like. Our marriage is going to constantly stay new. We're going to always keep it fresh. But really, you were really pointing to our friendship, our friendship will always be new and always stay fresh.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Kai's my best friend, and
Best friend
we were best friends
first.
before everything. You hear us talk about it constantly, and the dynamic of our friendship has never changed. We will always be friends, and with our friendship, so does our relationship as husband and wife. It just coincides together. And I know just being able to look at her and be able to tell her, I was like, look, we need to keep this new. We need to keep things fresh. And there are seasons where, let's just be honest. There's some things that, 17 years, you guys, 17 years for us. Sometimes things get really stale.
They can.
Things get stale. No, now let's just be honest. Things get stale. Now some of you guys understand it. If you make food and at least stuff gets sit out for a little while, things are just going to get stale. A cake won't be fresh for so long. And then you try to add, you might put the little cake toppers on them so they'll make it a little bit fresh.
Yeah.
We try to do these things. We get Ziploc bags to preserve things, and that will help. And then if you refrigerate it, it'll preserve things. If you freeze it, it makes it a little bit longer. But still, how do you get rid of the staleness of what you're trying to keep fresh? If you guys understand. And that's what we're looking at is how do we keep things fresh? Well, people are like, well, Pastor, what are your tips? Or John, what is your tip? Kaya, what is your tip for me and my marriage? I want to keep things fresh. And I can tell you right now, you can read books and people talk about, put the little spark into your marriage and do all that other stuff. But really, let's think about this. Fried chicken is good when it's fresh.
That is true.
You guys hearing me?
That is true. I've tried to eat it like the next day or later on. It's just not the same.
So fresh fried food is delicious. Fried shrimp is great. Fried fish, woo, come on. Fried chicken, fried pork chops.
Fried anything.
If it's fried, it's good.
Fried anything.
But the next day, when you got extra, you're hungry for it.
Yeah.
You want it. You think about the taste. When you pull it out of the refrigerator, it's still good, but it's stale. It's not as good as was it when it came out the frying pan.
It's just not the same.
So what do we do? What are the tips to make sure that we keep things fresh? And so I know for me, it just depends upon what you do. One thing that I've learned, you guys, stop trying to reheat old food in the microwave. I'm preaching a sermon here.
Especially fish. Like if you're at the office and you want to microwave some fish.
Don't microwave your fish at the office because nobody else wants to smell that. And that's what happens to us as Christians when we are, or just even that you're not Christians, when your stale, nasty yesterday's dinner is going to come to the office and you're going to just air it out to everybody. Oh, come on, somebody. Come on. So what we do is you can't take something old and try to stick it in and think that it's going to make it hot again. If you get some heat in it, it'll seem like it's good, but it's just not the same.
And I love where you're going with this because it's true, because it all goes back to what we do every day. Like it's what we do every day. Like not relying on the way that I blessed my husband or I loved on my husband yesterday to be enough for today and for the rest of the week or the year. Like every day, it's keeping it fresh. It's redoing, it's rejoicing, it's reconnecting, it's being intimate again. Like, and it's all points back to how we spend our time together. So we like to compare things and reflect and relate things to the things of God, right? And so keeping things new and keeping things fresh with our relationship with the Lord all ties back to our worship, right? The time that we spend in worship, just thinking upon Him, just singing of His attributes or meditating on His goodness, thinking and remembering what He's done and how He's delivered us and what He's done in our life. Or it's the same with our relationship with the Lord, with each other, because the marriage between man and woman is a reflection of the marriage that Christ has with His church, right? So everything that we do to keep our relationship fresh, to keep things new, no matter what's going on around us, no matter if the world has gone mad, no matter if he's had 2 strokes, it doesn't matter. When we keep things new, it's able to withstand and go through any circumstances because it all ties back to our worship. We're going somewhere with this, you guys. The same way we spend time in worship with the Lord, and each of us connect with the Lord in different ways. Like some of us, like maybe you put on a song and you close your eyes and you literally just go there in your mind about the goodness of the Lord and you think upon Him. And when you do that, it's like the Lord brings things back to your remembrance. Almost like the Lord says, yeah, and I remember when you, la, 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 I was there for that. Or it really blesses me when you do this. So it's like when we spend this time in intimate worship with the Lord, it allows Him to spend that time loving back on us. Like being able to hear Him in a way that we wouldn't hear Him when we're busy going about our day, when we're busy cooking food for the kids or whatever, or at work or whatever. But when we spend time in worship, it's an intimate time of exchange where I'm able to speak to the Lord and He's able to speak back to me. Well, what times of intimate worship do you have with my husband? I have to set those times aside where it's not like I'm just loving on him as I'm loving on the kids and making their food, or I'm loving on him as I'm at work. Yeah, I love you. No, that's not intimate. Like I'm talking about intimate times of worship where He's able to hear me. I'm able to hear His heart. Not only the things that He's saying, but also the things that He's not saying. One of the things I found that the more time we spend connecting with each other, there's things that He doesn't have to say, but I begin to discern that's going on with Him. And that's like worship because it's an exchange between 2 parties,
Usually, most women fail to know what their husbands are thinking.
I just want to say that.
There's no men.
Are you being a downer Debbie? I feel like he's being a downer Debbie.
Most men get upset because their wives they don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, most men
especially now that I'm like the master of charades right now.
Yeah, he is. Because
I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it.
It doesn't always come out.
And it got everybody sitting there looking. But no, I mean, as we were saying earlier about food and freshening things up, we keep reheating stuff up in the microwave, and it's that false
doing that same
stuff. You're doing this. You can't. It's not. But I'm going to tell you something. If you guys don't know this by now, I have to tell you about this.
If you don't,
do you guys realize the greatest invention that has just happened? That has happened to mankind.
What?
Is an air fryer.
That's true. I do like the air fryer.
If you don't have an air fryer, you need to go and get one.
It helps for leftover fried chicken.
If you don't have one, husbands, go get your wife. And I'm saying this because when you air fry something, it doesn't cook stuff quickly, but it will definitely heat it, and it will add a newness to your food. So that pork chop that you were thinking of yesterday, the fried pork chop, if you microwave it, it gets soggy, and it has it kind of feels like them. But when you take that pork chop and you put it in the air fryer, and it takes a little bit longer, but when you come out, it's still crispy, like it came out, and the taste is still there. It's almost as good as it was when it came out.
It first came out.
The grease earlier, the day before. So what am I saying is we have to make sure that we spend that time. There is no such thing as a re-microwaving and reheating old food or old relations, your old relationship with your wife or no, don't rekindle it. You got to learn how to find out and basically make sure there's air fry. There's that air, the wind that will come by and revitalize. It's the wind, the fresh wind. I'm reaching. See, when I think about the goodness of Jesus, and He's brought me through.
Yes.
My soul. You got it.
Hallelujah. Yes, we get it.
Yeah. So anyway, but no, honestly, guys, you have to. I could write a book and tell you about, this is how you need to do this. Oh, go back. No, sometimes it just takes of thinking about the goodness of one another. and thinking about God. When you're thinking about God, you think about everything He's done for us. Then you look back at your wife and go, you know what? Things are a little stale right now. But then you have to go, you know what? I remember that one time that we did this. I remember that one time we went for a walk for no reason. Remember that one time we just went on a drive for no reason and just talked? You know, these are the kind of things that keeps your friendship new.
Yeah. And then it just kind of goes back to things that we've talked about in the past about the love languages. Like when I know my husband's love language, and just like Rachel was saying, she says we don't connect with our husbands the same way, and it's all about being creative and connecting and not copying others, keeping it fresh. And that goes back to knowing one another's love language, because if I know his love language, then I'm going to do something different than I did yesterday to connect with him in a way that I didn't connect with him yesterday. And so that's our opportunity to keep things fresh and then keep things new, and just continue to strengthen our relationship, our friendship. And so that's why it's like almost like the same way that we're called to meditate upon God's word day and night. You know what? We meditate on each other also. We talk about
what they've said to us.
Yeah, what you've said, what you've done, things that you've done, gifts that you've got me, the time you stalked me and put flowers in my car, like just different little things like that, you know. But I think it was last week we were talking about actually kind of talking about sex, but how do you get your mind there before it's time for your body to be there? And it's about what you do all day. It's about what you do earlier in the day. Like it's like the mind is like the stage that you're setting before the action goes down. Am I making sense?
Can I just start? Yeah, right now you're talking to ladies because it's two different. See this right here.
Night and day.
Men are different.
Mars, Venus. Mars and Venus. Okay, so I'm talking to the ladies.
Talk to the ladies.
Okay.
And if there's guys listening, you better write some notes.
Yeah. So with ladies, like it's like you getting your mind ready. The mind is the stage, and so you're getting that ready all day. So maybe I'm playing, some music, Soul Child, or maybe I'm playing some what's his name, John Legend, and he's just talking about love and the heart and how much I love you and how you make me feel. And then as I'm listening to those words, I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel. And so like the mind is the stage that's set. And so by the time we come together, yes, it's already done. Y'all know I can't dance. I have rhythm, but I can't dance. But I will be on beat. But I don't know what I will be doing on beat.
And I know we ain't talking about sex, but
we're not talking about sex. But I'm just saying the mind is the stage in which the show goes down.
There's one thing
because men are visual, we are emotional.
Yeah, men.
It's about mental.
You gotta start. You gotta start in the morning.
Like Mac on my mind.
You gotta start in the morning.
If he Macs on my mind, like if he gets in here,
you guys gotta understand. I got Mac game. But then after 17 years of trying to come up with like new Mac game, before I would say something to her because I'd be in her mind.
I'm like, huh.
I'd be in her mind. She'd be like, yeah. Then it used to be all I had to do was talk to her. It'd take about an hour. I'll say some nice things. Then eventually it was like
you had it timed.
Then it had to be okay. So I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I'll start in the morning. I'll make a few phone calls. How you doing? Girl, I was just thinking about you. Mac on her.
No, let me tell you what he would do. Okay, I would be commuting to work. Let me tell you about this guy. Okay, I just gotta remember what you're gonna say, but I gotta tell them, y'all don't understand the Mac game that this guy had earlier on. These are the things that this guy would do. Are you listening? Listen, Lisa. I would be driving, getting ready to go to the ferry because I rode the ferry to work. This guy would race. Were we married yet?
No.
We weren't married. That's why he was trying to see me in the morning. He just wanted to see glimpses of me in the morning. This guy would race to catch up with me on the freeway as we're talking. And I'm like, yeah. I'm about to be to the ferry station soon. He's like, yeah, okay, This guy would be racing either in his motorcycle or his car to catch up with me, to look at me, to honk at me, and to see me. He's like, girl, I just wanted to see you. I just wanted to see your face. Let me tell you, that's not it. Then sometimes I'd be working at my desk. He's calling me. He's talking to me. How's your day going? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, really? Mm-hmm. What does it look like outside? I'm like, oh, because my desk is right by the window. I'm like, oh, it's sunny out here in the city. It looks like. He's like, really? He's like, look outside. Who's standing outside my work window, down on the sidewalk, just waving at me, holding this phone. Woo! I'm like, hold up. You just came all the way to the city just to look at me, just to glance at me through my work window.
Yeah.
I can't. I
just want to thank our people that our sponsors for bringing Kaya back to these. I don't know nobody for helping Kaya remember these things.
I can't
because she wasn't thinking about it until now. Yeah, because
I can't. I just got to do a wave on that one. I can't.
Okay. She always So I don't even know what I was talking about.
Okay, we were talking about how men and women are different.
Are so different. Yeah, but I mean, dealing with Kaya earlier in our marriage, it was more like you. It's all about the mind, the emotions. You do that for day, first day. Then eventually it's one day, and then now it's like, well, it's been 17 years, so I better start on this on Monday. So then hopefully on Thursday, her mind's right.
The stage can be set.
The mind's right. That's only if I don't say something stupid or I do something stupid.
And then,
because if guys are listening right now, you guys, I'm just going to tell the truth. Because you be like, man, I hope I don't mess this up. Because I really, because I'm a dude, bro. I want to hit that.
Oh my gosh. Why did you? There was lots of other things you could have said. There was lots of other ways you could have said that.
That's just.
I'm going to need our sponsors to come and step in. Who's our sponsor?
We're married. So you sitting there going, I hope I don't do something to mess it up. Because I've been working all week for this.
We're taking a commercial break.
And then boom.
Commercial break from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can definitely you work it up, everything's great, and then all of a sudden, just with one little
3 days I was working on this. 3 days. I got flowers on Monday.
Ruined it.
Took her out to dinner on Tuesday.
Yeah. Rubbed
her feet on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday, you like, man, it's going down on Thursday.
Barbecued some steak on Thursday.
Yeah.
This guy can barbecue some
steak. And then all of a sudden, I say something. Like, why did you do your hair like that? Strike. Forget it.
Yeah, it's like bowling. He knocked all the pins down. All of them. With one little.
No. But y'all understand. Keeping it fresh.
Keeping it fresh, keeping it new. It's something that we do every day. It's something that we work on every day. Men are not like women. We're more emotional. We're more mental. Guys, most guys, and then I don't think we should make the mistake of classifying all guys being the same and all women being the same, but most guys are visual, so it's like it doesn't take an all week workup or all day workup. Like they just see one thing and they're like, green light, let's go. But with women, like when he makes love to my mind, he makes love to my emotions. Like when he knows my love language and he speaks to that. He nurtures that. That's all it is. That's all that's needed.
It's called intimacy.
Into me.
No.
See.
It's into Macy's.
Into me.
Into Macy's.
Into me. See.
She wants me to go buy her something at Macy's.
See into me. Into me. See. Okay?
Into Macy's.
Yes. Rachel says, I think it's also important to play. Playfulness and just acting like big kids helps a lot too. Yeah, I agree. Just not taking ourselves so seriously, having some fun, and having fun together, which is what friends do. Friends have fun together.
Gotta be. I'm trying to tell you guys, just to let you guys understand. As we're talking, I want to put all this out there once again. Keeping it new isn't about just the relationship of man and woman aspect. It's about the aspect of friendship. Because at the end of this day, these bodies, they wither away. Yeah. And I'm just going to be honest with you. When you get up there in your age, what do you have to rely on? Not your
It's
body,
not always
not
physical.
your looks, not what you think you can do or what you've done.
Yeah.
It's all about how well you guys work together
The
as
friendship.
friends.
How
What
strong.
we talk about, what we hold on. I watched the other day this couple that was married for 70 something years. 70 something years.
It's a long time.
They're barely walking, but I'm watching them sit down and they're holding and having conversations with each other, talking about when they got married and they were holding their hands and each other. And I was like, those are goals right there. Those are relationship goals.
I love seeing older couples together. It is something to my heart. Like I just check out. I'm just with them, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. Like friendship. Another way of looking at keeping things new is not dwelling on the things of the past.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because when you're keeping things new, your relationship is here now in the present. It's not, well, I'm adding in everything that's happened in the past to know, is he going to do that again, or is she going to do this again, or does this really mean this because last time it meant that? Being able to let go of the old to step into and keep things new for today is super necessary.
Mm.
If you tell your spouse, I forgive you, that means you need to stop adding up everything that happened in the past. When you say, I forgive you, you're saying, I'm allowing us to now start or start again, especially in a marriage that you choose to stay in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, say something happened and you forgive them, but you're not able to reconcile the relationship. Okay, that's one decision. That's completely different. Do you get what I mean?
Can I
Yeah.
interrupt? Can I?
Yeah.
Just to let you guys understand something, it's a message that I preach a lot
Mm-hmm.
because we're Christians, we're supposed to forgive, but
Yeah.
a lot of us don't even realize what forgiveness is.
Yeah.
And just because you say you forgive somebody doesn't mean that you've forgiven them. And forgiveness is something.
Forgiving them? Just because you forgive them doesn't mean you've forgiven them?
That's it. Forget.
Yeah.
Just
there
because
you
you forget what they've done doesn't mean that you not forgive them. So here's the key thing: is what my wife just said. You can forgive somebody. It doesn't mean that there's always reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if there's going to be reconciliation, if she has an ought towards me and I am repentive, you gotta remember that word. Let's say I messed up and I've repented to her. It's up to her to say, I forgive you. And then at that point, she can offer reconciliation.
Yeah.
And with that reconciliation, that's when sometimes things ain't gonna be like they used to be now, but things will change later because with that reconciliation, that means the relationship gets back together again. That's why God gave Jesus Christ. He's the one that came in and reconciled us back to the Father. He gave us forgiveness, but guess what? We still have to be reconciled back to the Father. So with that, what Kyle was saying is literally, this is where I was cutting you off. Go ahead.
So, yeah. So, when we decide to make a decision to forgive and to reconcile, we have to be careful that we're not adding up everything of the past and bringing it into today, because then we're just operating in a stale relationship that's stale and old, and we're trying to reheat it. And it's just not as good. It's not as flavorful. It's not as pleasant. So when we make that decision to forgive and to reconcile and to allow trust to be established again, we have to make a mental note to ourselves, hey, I am going to keep this new. I'm not holding him in jail and in contempt of what the mistakes that were happened in the past. I'm going to allow us to flourish and new seeds to be planted for today. So that's another perspective of keeping things new and keeping things fresh, because just like every other couple, like we've been through things and things have happened. And if I would keep adding up all the mistakes that he's made in the past, and if he's constantly adding up all my mistakes made in the past, then there's nothing new or fresh about our relationship. If I refuse to laugh at any of his jokes today because he upset me last week, that's not keeping it new. I have to literally step into today, see my husband for who he is today,
And laugh
enjoy
at my
that,
jokes.
we embrace that, um, and and be thankful for that. And that's a way to keep it new.
Mm-hmm. And laugh at my jokes.
I laugh at his jokes. He
And my
really
randomness.
likes when I laugh at his jokes. Jennifer Jones says, "Can you forgive without talking to that person?" So if we're talking about in a marriage, it's completely different than talking about in a friendship or a family member or something like that. Say you forgive a family member or something like that, somebody that you're not married to, and you decide to stop talking to that person. There must be something in you that's saying, "Hey, I need some more boundaries put in place." Yeah, I forgive them, which means I'm not holding them in jail.
Yeah.
I'm not charging them. I'm not holding them in jail, in my jail cell of my heart. I'm letting them go. I'm releasing them from that. I'm releasing them from the sentencing that I want to put on them. But because of what happened, I need healthier boundaries for my sake, for the sake of my joy, for the sake of my peace, for the sake of who I'm supposed to be for Christ. I can't continue in this way, in this relationship. So here are the boundaries. And maybe the boundaries are, I'm not talking to that person on the phone anymore. Or I'm only going to talk to that person from an arm's length because some healthy boundaries need to be in place. But say you're married to that person and you decide that you want to forgive them. Well, are you going to forgive them and then you guys no longer be together? Or are you forgiving them and you're going to reconcile? That's a decision that you have to make.
Yeah. And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting.
Or reconciliation all the time.
It doesn't mean reconciling.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean pardoning. And it doesn't mean condoning.
Yeah.
Just because you've forgiven somebody doesn't mean that you condone what they've done. It doesn't mean that you're pardoning them, which means you gotta pay for what you've done. Because a lot of times I forgive you, like somebody that's killed somebody else, you go, you know what, I forgive you.
Yeah.
But you're going to prison.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. You know, and so, whatever your situation may be, forgiveness is required by God as a Christian. We have to learn to forgive. And sometimes it's hard.
It is hard.
But it's spiritual. That's what you have to understand. It's something spiritual. And
it's supernatural.
The Holy Spirit will help you release that person out of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, just because, look, can I just share this? Jesus has holes in his hands, a hole in his side, and thorns on his flesh. They're all scars.
Of things that happen.
Things that have happened. And he made sure that those stayed there so that we would remember. And it's the same for us. People have scarred us and left us and hurt us. But just because you're there, it doesn't mean that you're never going to forget. But he still forgave.
Yeah, even though those scars.
Even though those scars are still there, because these scars will define of what I went through.
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, that's in a nutshell.
Yeah. And then Rachel says, do you also think we need to focus on making ourselves fresh as individuals? Like you as a person are stale, it's going to be tough to have a fresh and fun marriage. Okay, so that's kind of like a different journey. And that question is kind of broad, so we can have lots of details and stuff in there. But my first thought is I'm thinking of this couple that we know. I'm not going to say who the couple is. I'm thinking of this couple that we know. And the wife is irritated because she feels like the husband is boring. Like he's just boring. He doesn't want to do anything. She wants to live life. She wants to do things and stuff like that. And so she has all these complaints and she's super irritated by it. And one of the things that I think is unfair is that when a wife goes through this season where she's like lively and she wants to do all this stuff and now she's mad at him because he doesn't, it's kind of unfair because he was like that the whole time. Like he was always like that. Like he's always been boring. But for whatever reason, like he's always been boring. But when they first got married, like she liked him. She appreciated wanting to stay home all the time and just be cuddled up with books. Or she appreciated the fact of them just living this simple life. But now that she's kind of turned another leaf or whatever, now she's kind of condemning him or she's upset with him that he doesn't want to change into this new person with her. I'm not sure what has brought on this new turn of the leaf with her. I think it's great, but she has to realize that you have to be fair to the person that he was originally. One of the things my husband always says that he says, my dad always gave me this advice that I'll never forget to this day. And he said, what'd your dad say, babe?
Never change who you are for anybody.
Because if you do, she won't respect you, or she won't appreciate you.
She'll never appreciate you. He said she'll never respect you for it.
And so I feel like, okay, that sounds a little harsh, but one of the things that I realized that Mr. Butcher was saying to John is that be careful on the amount that you decide to compromise as far as who you are. And it kind of goes back to a story that John and I tell all the time. Like, John's always been a really playful, fun person. He's always been that way. And I've always been more serious and task oriented. Like, I'm always about, like, what's our mission? What's our goal? What's our focus? What should we be doing? Like, so serious, right? And I remember after we got married, I think I was nervous about something, and something was happening, and John was, like, kind of playing and being playful in the background, like how he always is.
I think we were probably at one of your financial parties.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember later that day I was, like, really irritated. Like, I was so upset about it. I was so upset. I'm like, why are you, like, you never take stuff serious? And, like, that was serious, and you wanted to play and joke and dance around, and then, like, it just was like, and I remember saying that to him. I can't remember what it was about.
Very mean, too. She said,
yeah, because I was irritated. And then I'll never forget, he said, you know what? I can't remember what you said exactly, but do you remember how you said it? You said, if you don't appreciate me for who I am, then you don't appreciate me. Like, if you can't love me for who I am, then you don't love me. And I remember him saying that, and it hit me really hard, because I'm like, wait a minute, I do love him, though. But he was saying, like, if you can't love me for who I am, then you don't love me. Maybe I love, and he was basically saying, like, maybe you love an image of me, or maybe you love a side of me, but if you don't love me for who I am, then you can't say that you love me, because that's who I am. He says, I've always been that way. I've always been playful and jovial, and I joke. I like to laugh. Like, I've always been that. And if you don't love who I am, then you can't say that you love me. And I'm telling you guys, life changing. And it completely started this complete turn and shift in thinking, especially when it came to my husband. Because I'm like, I love him. I know that I love him. And it's like I literally had to tell myself, no, you do love that side of him. And the more I embraced it and appreciated that side of him, the more that side of him began to affect me. And now I feel like I'm more playful. I joke around a lot more. I take stuff not as serious. I'm still the serious one, but I'm not as serious. Like, I can appreciate when he brings, levity to stuff.
Yeah, I'm always joking.
Yeah, but back to the question about stale. Like, yeah, you can say that person's stale, but you can also kind of say, well, if they were like that before, who's kind of being unfair? Do you get what I mean? And so I think with prayer and with patience, maybe there are certain things about you or about that other person that'll rub off on them, and it'll bring them to a different level. But when you're doing stuff like, you're not fun, or you're boring, or you just want to sit here and do that, well, then it's almost like you're condemning them, so you're making it worse. And now they're just like, I am? Well, I've always been this way. And, it just creates more problems.
I think also what maybe I'm raising the question wrong with what Rachel said, Hankins, is, a lot of times, we try to make the relationship fresh, but we need to be fresh. And it's nothing worse. I don't like mayonnaise, but if you put stale mayonnaise, that's been, what do they call
Sitting out?
It's old. What do they call it? It's rancid. If it's old, what do they call it? It's just,
I don't know. Old.
They call it old, stale.
Bad.
Bad. It's bad. And
no one uses bad mayonnaise, though, hopefully.
That's the whole point. If you put bad mayonnaise on a fresh sandwich, it ruins the whole sandwich. But the key thing is we need to learn how to refresh and renew ourselves and keep ourselves fresh. And I mean, there's a plethora of things that we do, because we can basically we can make the marriage and relationship fresh, but also I have to make sure that I'm fresh myself too. And I think a lot of that has to do with what we said earlier about spending time with the Lord, seeking His heart and everything else. Then there's the whole thing about us, bettering ourselves through reading, bettering ourselves. Listen, you guys,
growing,
the the way you dress, the way you look, your
Yes,
appearance,
come on.
change
That's
stuff a little
good.
bit. These are things
maybe
that
she meant that.
there
yeah.
are things, no, because we have to. I mean, even for me now, and because this is a season for me as I'm getting older, in the season, it's my, you guys don't know. And I've always liked to dress a certain way. And I was told,
Not by me.
It
I
wasn't
didn't
by
do
her.
it. I
She
didn't
didn't
do
say
it,
it.
you guys.
She had a lot of grace, but then one of the young ladies at the church came up to me and said, "Hey, I really love you, Pastor, but you look sloppy.
You dress sloppy.
You dress sloppy." And I was like, "Dang."
I didn't say it.
And she was like, "I got at the time there was her husband came and helped me out and took me out shopping. And then my nephew Micah took me shopping, and I started realizing that it's time to grow up. It's time to start looking my age and being in this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I'm from the even though I'm from the 80s, I can't be looking like. So I start even now. I'm starting to dress more mature.
I like it too.
For my age. I have to embrace the gray.
Yeah.
It's hard, but I'm embracing it. I'm growing hair. I mean, I'm losing hair in places I don't.
My gray. I'm not sure.
I'm losing hair where I don't want it, but I'm gaining hair where I don't want it either because I got ear froze in my ears.
Is that like an old guy thing?
Yeah, we were talking about, all the guys were talking about this. So my barber, Ed takes care of me. He grooms me. Praise God. He sees the things that I don't see. That's why it's imperative that people, like you, have somebody that'll help take care of you. But we have to freshen ourselves up.
That's good.
So that when we're together, we can keep it new. I'm going to keep myself new. She'll keep hers new. And then both of our new together makes things and keeps things fresh.
That's good. That's good. That's a really great perspective about that, through that question. Yeah, that's really good. I love it.
You love it?
So, yeah, guys, keeping it new, keeping it fresh starts with us being, first being fresh, afresh from the Lord, in the Lord, ourselves. It's almost like when you say that you learn how to be a great husband from being a good son to the Father. And so it all starts with our relationship with the Lord first. Like, it's hard for us to say that we love someone when we aren't familiar with love. God is love. How can I say I love somebody when I don't even know who love is? It's all about us
Who love is,
yes. It's all about us first establishing our first love, and that is our love with the Father. We have to first become acquainted with love before we say that we can give it to someone else. You know?
You can't give something to somebody that you don't have,
that you don't know, that you don't understand. And so I want to fully know. I want to know how to wrap my full arms around love. I want to know Him so that I can recognize it when I see it in my husband.
And how you keep those things fresh. You know, it all starts with you and the Father.
Yes.
And then from there, that's that vertical relationship. Then you can start transferring that horizontal relationship.
Yes.
And then where you, me, and He.
Yep, and it looks like a cross.
Yep.
And we've said this many, many times. You know, it's like, I don't need my husband, you know, but I want him. I need the Father. I need the Lord. That's who I need. I need him. And so when that relationship is established between me and the Father, now I can have the desires of my heart, you know. But it comes with us first getting that need met so that I don't accidentally put my husband into places that he doesn't belong. And then all of a sudden, I need him to talk to me this. I need him to do this for me so that I can feel like a woman. Or I need him to do this for me so that I can feel beautiful. I need him to do this for me so that I can feel strong. No. All those needs, all my needs are met from the Lord.
And I watch this. All I do by meeting her needs is echoing what the Father has already spoken.
Good.
That's the difference. Because if my wife depends upon what I say, she's not hearing what God's already told her.
Yeah.
I'm just echoing what she feels in her spirit. I'm only echoing when she lays on the Father's chest.
Yeah.
And he's telling you that you're the apple of my eye. You're beautiful. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. How marvelous are thy works.
Yes.
When he says that to you, all I do as her husbandman, as her gardener, is to make sure that I nurture and speak those things to her that God has already said.
Yes. And it all goes back to like the reason why he spent time with my daughter the way he does. It's like there's nothing a man can come up to my daughter and say that she hasn't already first heard from her father. Like her love and her security and her identity is already set by the Father.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need a man to come and tell me who I am, or I don't need him to come and do something for me because I have this void. No, I am fully sustained by the Father. And he is just a desire that I have. I don't need my husband, but I desire him, you know? But I need the Father. And so it all goes back to our relationship with the Lord first. That's how we keep it fresh. That's how we keep it new. That's how we do it.
She can't dance, yo.
But if you give me a beat, I'll stay on it. But I don't know what I'm gonna do once I get to the beat, though. I'm still trying to figure that part out. If anybody got any dance lessons for me, let me know. Because my husband can dance really, really good. He dances really good. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, there you go. Don't do that. You're too old for that. You're too old for that. Well, look, guys, that's it.
I love you guys.
Done.
Thanks for rocking with us today.
Yeah, I had a good time. Look, next week we may start a little early because
why?
Because we may be.
Because why? Because why?
Because
why?
we're gonna start early.
We're gonna start early.
I can't tell it.
Okay. Surprise.
Yeah. Look, we love you guys.
You guys have a great Monday.
We will see you guys.
We'll see you when we see you.
See you when we see you. Love you. Peace.